You're the drummer with Jelly Roll.
2020, I was going to Nashville all the time. I was sending one of the bands I managed down there to write, and I'd just go with them. The producer actually worked at a Jelly studio. Through that, I ended up meeting a bunch of people that were just surrounded by Jelly. 2021 comes, and they're going to play their first show, and I guess the drummer wasn't prepared, and I ended up getting a phone call, and at 2 in the morning was like, do you know the Jelly songs? And I lied, and I was like, yeah, I know all of them.
Oh, that's what you do. You don't go, no, sorry, I think this is right for someone else.
And I get a call from his manager and was like, when can you be in Nashville? And I was like, bro, I'll go right now. Went and packed my drums and downloaded the 20-song playlist or whatever it was and just listened to all the songs on the way to Nashville.
And you can figure it out like that?
No. God.
Two goons, not one but two goons. Two goons, 7 hours in the bathroom.
Yo, what's up? I'm Cody Asher, and you're watching Two Goons.
Hey, Goons, you can catch me live in Plano, Texas, August 14th to 15th. And check out my new comedy special, How to Make Your Balls Bigger, out now on YouTube. Get all your tickets at shaderarena.com or
jjliebermanlive.com. I'm like you. I like
Yeah, I just love the adult world.
I love the adult world. I went on a date with someone. So we went to AVN. I was telling you the story when we were at Alexis Fox Studio. I had a date with someone, and she came up to me. She's like, gave me your number, and then she just said, hey, can we do tomorrow night? I'm so tired right now. I just had to move rooms. I'm like, totally. And I'm like, whatever. I also respect the fact that you are at AVN. It is your kind of like Super Bowl. So you're going to be more busy than going on a date.
And you're going to cancel plans all over
especially
the
with a
place,
gooner who has nothing to offer you. Then like 4 hours later, I see her story, and it was like 3 a.m. She's at a slot machine.
Yeah.
And so we went on the date a couple nights ago. I said, what the f-? She's like, I know. Someone dragged me out. I was like, I was dragging you out. So, yeah.
Dang. Yeah, that... First off, you have a lot to offer. You're a legend and a king and beautiful. Thank you, sir. So let's make that a motherfucking point real quick.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, put that crown on, king. You know what I'm saying?
A legend and a king and beautiful.
There, you do hold. It is funny. I will never hold a place in a woman's heart as much as I hold a place in a special, like in a man's, like someone who loves to be off and loves the content.
The bros. Some dudes are for the boys. Like there's
Yeah.
not a lot of chicks who are a fan of who's that writer? He invented like Gonzo writing. What's that guy?
Hunter S. Thompson. Yes.
Not a lot of chicks are like Hunter S. Thompson fans,
No.
but dudes go, yeah, he rules.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to look up who Hunter S. Thompson is.
No,
dude.
really?
He was a journalist.
Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing Las Vegas is based on him.
Still never seen it.
No.
Still, I've been
Dude,
told I need to watch it. I still haven't watched it.
Well,
You like doing drugs?
Yeah, you
I
live.
love
You live the rock star life.
Yeah. Well, you're literally a rock star.
You're literally a rock star. How long?
Yeah.
How long you been in bands for?
Dude, I've been in band since I was in like high school, but
Really?
Yeah, but like my first band was I was a sophomore and we were a hair metal band.
Really?
And we weren't a cover band.
No.
We like made
Original?
originals. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were sick. We were called Bullet. We did the whole hair, makeup, all that.
No
Yeah,
way.
Dude, I'll send you photos.
So like we'll do
if you need like a clip for it.
Yeah.
100%.
So like an homage to like 70s glam rock,
Dude,
Kiss.
yeah, like Motley Crue and Poison are my favorite bands of all time.
Oh, sick.
So it was we were all obsessed with somehow, I don't know how, in the middle of Mount Washington, Kentucky, me and 3 other individuals fell in love with hair metal.
Yeah.
But we did, and because where I'm from is redneck, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
So
Country
like
music.
wearing
can
skinny
hear.
jeans and any of that shit was weird.
Yeah, people probably didn't like when you were like wearing like a blonde wig and putting like makeup on.
Yeah, at least back then, because I was like teasing hair and everything. It was zebra pants, the whole 9 yards.
But that was-
dude,
yeah.
it was sick.
But that was so like counterculture. But but that is what rock and roll is, though, right?
Yeah. We did everything to like. It was sick. We really did everything to like stand out in the school and be different and so on. So it was a really cool time. So that was like my first band, and then
Yeah, what happened to that band? How does that band break up?
That band breaks up with a little thing called high school. So I was I was like not a popular kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, dude. It was people just thought I was weird, or like I don't know what it was, but like I didn't have a lot of like real friends in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get like the whole experience of people having high school, and they're like all the parties and getting.
I didn't have that either.
Like, I never got invited. You know what I'm saying? And then really that band ended because they were all popular kids, and we knew each other because we played sports, and like we've been playing sports our whole lives together.
Yeah.
And when we got into high school, they just got in with the cool crowd and like the cool clique that would always have the parties and throw the parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And
you were always a drummer?
Yeah. And
okay.
And I wasn't part of that, and so they would always be getting invited to parties, so on and so forth. So we getting to the end of the story. Basically, we won a battle of the bands, and then didn't really know where to go from there. And then they were all I ended up quitting sports because I didn't. That's a whole other story with my coaches, but ended up quitting sports. They were still finishing out some of their sports years, and basically we were at a Taco Bell one day, and one of the guys in the band, we were all sitting there eating, and they had went to a party over the weekend, and we had went to a party over the weekend, and we were just kind of talking about it, and one of the guys, I said something, and one of the guys was like, yeah, like the only reason you were invited was because we like people feel bad for you. Like we felt bad for you. Like we all got invited. You didn't get invited. We asked them if we could bring you because we felt bad that you weren't invited. And I was like,
that's rude as
what the So after that, honestly, I don't even know really what I had just kind of disbanded, and everybody just kind of was doing their own
so
thing.
you were still like just jamming all the time, like
all the time.
Even when you're not in a band, you're just like trying to get good.
You are a drummer. You love music.
And back then, like I was really I was practicing like 4 or 5 hours a day. I'd come home from school and just immediately go straight to the drum kit.
Really?
Like, every single day. And so like I was like known in the school for like being a drummer, but it wasn't much more than that. Like
and that couldn't get you paid.
No,
really?
Dude, I had to like, dude. The way I lost my virginity, which was because I didn't make out with a girl until like 10th grade, and then I was a junior. And I still hadn't got laid. I still hadn't like done anything really except make out. And I was like, what the f- is going on? And ended up, there was a girl, and she was cute. She was pretty cute. And I heard that she had before. And
go to the source.
And my buddy was hooking up with her friend, and we were all back at his house. And so me and this girl were in one room. My buddy and her friend was in another room. And me and her start making out. I go down on her, finish, and then I come up and I'm like, okay, so is it my turn? And like, just being like, I'm not trying to be a weirdo, but also
cute
like,
about it.
wondering. And she laughed and got up and walked out of the room. And I was like, what the f-? And then texted me 3 days later and was like, hey, you're pretty cute. Like, we should go on a date. And I was like,
yeah,
all
just
right.
eat your
So it ended up making this girl my first girlfriend ever. And then took like a month or two, and then I lost my virginity.
Yes, nice.
So it was cool. But
I didn't lose my virginity till 18.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I
18 years
think I
old.
was 17.
18 years old.
I was 15.
Really?
Yeah.
18 years old. So how do you go? Okay, so what's the progression of the bands?
The bands. Yeah.
So you go from first band. What was the next? Was that the band you were in for 10 years? You said
No. So that was just my first band ever. That only lasted.
No, that's
like
what I mean. The next band after that.
So the next band after that, it was
still rock and roll.
No, the next person I joined was a country artist, which just a small. He also went to my high school, and he was like a year or two younger than me, and we were playing at bars as underage kids, and every time that we would so we'd play like 3 or 4 sets in a night, and every time we get done playing us, because each of the sets would be like 30, 45 minutes, and every time we get done, we'd have to walk outside and stand outside of the bar until we had until we came back in again. So
they were hiring you.
Yeah. So that was like the first time I'd got like paid to play, and it was like $50 a night or something.
Yeah, but it was something.
It was something.
Yeah.
It was something. And they weren't really making any moves, and I was like just wanting to play metal and like do some other, and I just wanted to keep moving. And so I met up with this kid named Kyle, who I went to high school with, and he knew someone that was wanting to start a band, and they had like found a vocalist and found a bass player or whatever, and I had a place to practice. My parents had like a little loft that we could practice in, so we ended up making this band, my first metalcore band called Death at a Dance Party.
It's got Panic at the Disco vibes.
Our first shirt was like just one of those old emo Hot Topic shirts with like a kid at a disco ball. It was purple and super bright and shit.
Yeah.
And so we were in that band. We were garbage.
Were you touring around?
Dude, we were so bad.
Really?
Yeah, we were awful, but it was fun. It was really cool, and we were playing shows around Louisville, and I kind of started getting like noted as a drummer, and then
so we're out of that band. You were like the guy.
I mean, I wouldn't say like the guy. I was just saying like we
most talented of the group.
No, they were all extremely talented, like all talented guys. But I think I'm the only one that continued to do something with music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were all really great. Like the guitar player Kyle, he has a great voice. And then we had the screamer. His name was Ricky. He had a crazy scream, and he was cool, a little nerdy, but a good dude, really good dude. But,
so what was the next? What was the next?
So then that band started having like internal problems, and they decided to start a side project without two of the members.
Oh.
And so we did that, and it was called Anchors for Eyes, which we also did nothing. We played one show, and that was it. Literally flew to Oregon to record an EP, spent stupid money to do it as a kid.
Yeah.
And then flew back, released the EP, played one show, and then I left. And I was like, but I had got an offer from this other local band in Kentucky called a.k.a. Who back in the day, the way that like certain bands, like the way that signed bands would set up their Facebooks and MySpaces and like the signed bands that were doing, it would look super professional. And this band a.k.a. they had the same kind of style page. They had all this work. I was like, damn, this band's huge.
Yeah.
And not knowing anything about it, I was like, oh, they're from Kentucky. And then I saw that they were looking for a drummer, and I was like, I'll try out. So I go and send a tryout video, end up joining. And this band, we actually ended up kind of like reigning the local Louisville, Kentucky metal scene for like probably about like 2 years.
Was that awesome?
Dude,
Was it like mosh pits and like
sick?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
hard.
You were like local famous. Celeb.
Nah. Just I guess I would say I was known as the drummer in like kind of the local scene, you know what I'm saying? But there was so many good musicians in like our metal scene down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And not it's like it sounds weird because it's like we're from Kentucky, but when I was doing it and locally, like there was a huge metal scene in Kentucky.
Well, so what people don't know, in certain cities, they have like certain scenes that are unbelievable.
Yeah. And at that time, like our metalcore underground scene was like huge. You know, there'd be like 200 or 300 kids at like local shows at like any time there was one.
And that's probably like there has to be something to that of that. Country, you're in Kentucky. Country's big. There's a certain way people want to be, and then it's like the goths in South Park where they're like, yo, fuck this, I hate this country shit, and they're like, yo, we get to go rock out in this basement.
And honestly, that's how I ended up finding that kind of music, was because being from the town that I was from, like I really didn't start loving my hometown until I started touring in 2016.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like so all the way up until then. You know, I didn't have any friends. I was an outcast. Like everybody, like, you know, I was made fun of for wearing skinny jeans and being like overweight, you know, so on and so forth. And so I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really have that growing up. And then when I started touring, I was like, damn, I like love my hometown, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I was different. And after I graduated was kind of at the point where these bands that we're talking about started happening with the metal stuff. And, so basically, I graduated high school, joined a.k.a. and we were doing, when we played locally, like I said, we were drawing like 200 or 300 kids to shows, and the scene was booming. It was super incredible. And so then I was like, hey, we need to go on the road. So we get a van and trailer, and we start touring. The first tour we did, like the first show, there was like 2 people there. Because we weren't big. We were just traveling to get our name out, and
How did you even like grow a following back then? Like, how would you get?
And
people
what
to
year
come?
was this? You said 2016.
So this is when I joined O Kingdom. It was 2011, and we didn't do our first like tour until 2013.
Wow.
So we were doing like local shows and like regional stuff for like 2 years, and then 2013 we booked our first little week and a half long tour.
Yeah.
And but dude. There was so many ways, because obviously back then, like, social media and bands like weren't
Poppin'.
being pushed as hard as it is now, and so back then I would do the craziest shit. I literally got a job at Hot Topic one time purely to promote my band.
Just handing out flyers to anyone who came.
Legitimately, I got a job at Hot Topic. I begged the GM. I was like, only let me work the band T-shirt merch.
Yeah.
Like, only let me work that wall. And so I'd go in there and I'd start making sales, and I'd look at what shirts the customers were looking at, and if it had any like relation to what my band's music, I'd be like, hey, I saw you're like getting the shirt. I was like, you should check these guys out. And I'd get their phone and type it all in and like go download our music. And
that is like,
grassroots hustle. Yeah, totally.
Dude.
I was hustling. I'd drive to like malls, and I'd drive to people's houses to like deliver them tickets if they like wanted to buy them, and like I did a ton of crazy shit. So that's how I would like try to get the name out back then. But and then other than that, it was just touring. So we're like going on our first tours and shit, and that band, through that I started making like a bunch of connections, and we made a lot of connections in Ohio. And so we're touring, fast forward, I start getting noticed by other people outside of there and start getting asked to like fill in for different bands. Yeah. And so I'm just filling in for different bands. I finally do my first West Coast tour filling in for another band in like 2013. And O Kingdom never did anything past like Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? That's as far west as we went, and as far north as we went was like New York. And like I said, that band was never big, but we did like some really cool stuff as a local band. And through all that, and then filling in for different bands, I ended up filling in for this band called Picturesque in 2016, and then we got off that tour, and I got a call from this band called Siler, who, when I was filling in for that West Coast tour band, we also did it. Sorry, this is so confusing. We did a West Coast tour, but this band was called Beyond the Shore that I was filling in for. In 2013, we did a Northeast tour with Siler, and that's how I ended up meeting these guys. Fast forward 3 years, I'm getting off the Picturesque tour. We're heading back to Kentucky, and Siler calls me, and they're like, yo, what are you doing next week? And I was like, nothing. Like, what's up? And they were like, can you, we need you to fill in for this tour. Are you down? And I was like, yeah. And I already knew all the songs because I was a fan of their band. And
how big were they?
Small, very small.
Okay.
Like they were just coming off of a hiatus. They had some like really bad string of luck once they got signed. Like they had a really like huge outbreak, and then they dropped their first album and it kind of tanked. But like they had like a lot of fans off of it, but not enough to where they could support headliners or so on and so forth. And then like the label that they were on ended up disbanding. Management dropped them. Booking dropped them. All these companies went under, and they were just kind of like, oh,
fucking out
and,
here.
So that's before I joined. Yeah. And then, like I said, so then they take like a year and a half off, and then I get the call, and so they're doing a comeback, and they just got signed to a new label and XYZ. So I was like, yeah, fuck, I'll fill in. And they were like, how much you want? And I was like, nothing. Just pay for my gas money. Like, I don't give I just want a tour.
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? So we go out and do the tour. It rips, and I'm expecting them to bring their drummer back for their other shows they have, and I get home from that tour, and they end up calling me. They're like, hey, we have this one off in New York. Can you come do this? And I was like, yeah. So I drove up to New York overnight, did a rehearsal, played the show, got back in my car, drove right back to Kentucky.
Dude, that's sick.
What kind of venues were you playing?
It's like 200 cap.
Right.
Yeah. And then, but they had a really good team. So after those shows, they ended up asking me to join permanently. And then we go out and we do some like really sick tour. Like we did like Warped Tour, and we went to Japan 2 or 3 times.
Oh, really?
Europe.
So you're opening for people?
Yeah. So we only did one headliner. That was the thing, is like, that record was really promising, and they crushed it, because I wasn't a part of that record, and it was going really well. But then we go in and we record the second album with that label, and I don't know what happened, but I don't know if it just didn't connect with fans or what ended up going on. Like there was a lot of things with like the label kind of dropped the ball on like rollout for singles, and like they weren't giving us extra money so that we could like shoot these videos. Like they were giving us like a $1,000 budget to shoot a music video. I was like, bro, you know it's 2018. Like,
you can't shoot music video for that.
No.
Like, are we doing this with like fucking college students? Like, what the dude? Yeah.
So
how tough is it? So, like, look back now, because you're currently right now touring probably as big as it possibly gets.
Yeah.
Stadiums.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we're not selling out the stadiums just yet. We are on the stadium tour. Like it's Post Malone's headliner.
Okay.
But we're like it's like direct. It's not a co-headliner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
but
like,
you still do. Okay.
Yeah, we're playing stadiums, but there's only like a few stadiums that I think we could sell out right now.
Okay, so what are the venues that when you guys on tour go? Like,
like Madison Square Garden and
that's a fucking bro. Madison Square Garden's a fucking stadium, bro.
We're just doing Madison Square Garden.
You're
guys.
doing 16,000.
No. I'm sorry, I didn't mean like that. I'm just like saying in like comparison to like stadiums. You know, stadiums it'll seat like 40,000 and
So, but you guys
you're doing 15,000.
Yeah, like on our own headliners.
You're doing arenas.
Yeah, on our own headliners, we'll do like NBA, NHL arenas, and then,
so you're doing arenas.
Yeah, we're doing. Yeah, we're doing.
So you guys are arena acts, not stadium headliners.
Now,
my apologies.
Hey, but we're getting to the stadium.
No, I mean because
I might.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean you out of the slums soon. I hope.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm sorry.
So let me ask you
That's
this.
not
So look back now where you're at. You're like cooking. Your whole crew's cooking. Everyone's doing great. So Eric's gonna fix the mic for a second.
I'm sorry.
So like you're with so basically you're the drummer with Jelly Rolls. You're on Jelly Rolls tour, right?
Yeah. When 2020 hit, Siler kind of went down a hole. We had a terrible. Well, we did a Europe tour at the end of 2019. It was cool. We had a good time, but there was just kind of some weird things dynamically going on within the band. And then 2020 happened, and we didn't do a.
How did you get hired? And the question I have though, also, I want to know how you got hired. But also, when you look back at, so this is a two-part thing. When you look back at Siler, do you think there was ever because you're an arena act now? Was there ever a chance, like, what's it to break out of where they were to get to bigger, or is there luck? Like, what the is it,
dude? I really don't know, because I thought, like, I knew rock was going to take a new surgence, like how it is right now, like, you know, because right now rock's bigger than it's ever been, and we finally have bands that are like from our world that are headlining arenas and doing like crazy shit, like Sleep Token, Bad Omens, A Day to Remember, you know, so on and so forth. They're doing like really cool things that no one ever really thought was going to happen.
Rock and roll is back.
Yeah, it's
where they said it would be dead, because people say rock and roll is dead because it's a 3-chord or something.
3 chords on the truth.
No, but it's like there's only 3 notes or something on rock and roll. It's like.
Well, this underground metal scene, it was like I didn't know if it could ever be bigger than like sheds and amphitheaters. So it was like I never knew. Because rock was huge back in the day. Everybody was playing arenas. You know, early 2000s and 90s, 80s, all the rock bands were playing arenas.
Well, the biggest music.
Yeah, and then 2010, there's this whole underground scene, and it's like all these bands are playing between 1,000 to 3,500 cap rooms, and then there's some of them that were hitting like 5,000 cap rooms. But I was never seeing anyone break over that mold to hit like the arenas and the AAA arenas and the amphitheaters and so on and so forth. And now all these bands, like I said, Falling in Reverse, Bad Omens, A Day to Remember, like all these bands are starting to hit these sheds and selling out arenas and selling out amphitheaters and so on and so forth. But when I was in Siler, that first record that I came in on, I thought there was a potential for that to become a thing where we could be a headlining act, at least get to like 3,000 to 5,000 cap rooms. Did I ever think it was going to hit arenas? Realistically, I did probably not, but there was more. It was more realistic with that record, and then when we dropped the second record, there was just a weird an energy shift that I was like, I don't know.
Could you hear it in the music?
Yeah, it was like I didn't know where it was gonna go, and like I said, then we hit 2019, and there's kind of some things happening internally, and then we didn't do anything during 2020 when everybody was creating new music and doing live streams and this and that. So it was like we were just laying dormant. But I was like, dude, I can't do that. Like, I have to figure something out. Like, I'm getting older. Like, I want to make money from touring, because I didn't make no money playing with them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make money touring for years. Like, I worked 4 jobs so that I could go on tour.
No,
like, yeah,
really?
bro. I bartended at a strip club. I did security downtown at a bar, and then I also worked at a vape shop, and then I worked, the owner of the vape shop also had a vape distribution company, and I would work at the warehouse. So I'd be pulling like 2 a days, and then just so I could like go on tour. And luckily all these people would like let me have an open schedule to kind of leave and go when I wanted, which was really, convenient. But yeah, so then the 2021 or 2020, I was going to Nashville all the time. One of the bands I managed, we were like, I was sending them down there to write, and I'd just go with them. And the producer actually worked out of Jelly's studio, so we were just at Jelly's studio, once a month. And then I was going down to Nashville to network on my own, just to do it. And I was down there at least once a month or every other month. And through that, I ended up meeting a bunch of people that were just surrounded by Jelly, because I was always at that studio, right? And 2021 comes, and they're going to play their first show, and I guess the drummer wasn't prepared, and I ended up getting a phone call, and at 2 a.m. was like, hey, keep your phone by you tomorrow. Like, do you know the Jelly songs? And I lied, and I was like, yeah, I know all of them.
That's what you do.
Like, yeah.
That's what you do. Yeah, you don't go, no, sorry, I think this is right for someone else. Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah. And I was like, I don't know.
I'll learn them.
Yeah,
I'll learn them in a night.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
So then I'm fucking tanked, and then I'd go home, go to bed, wake up, go to my vape shop job, and I get a call from his manager and was like, hey, when can you be in Nashville, XYZ? And I was like, bro, I'll close shop and fucking right now. Like, all this.
Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah, cool. So I called my buddy, and I was like, hey, man, I'm closing shop. I need you to come fucking over. I got to go to Nashville. And went and packed my drums and downloaded the 18 or 20 song playlist or whatever it was, and just listened to all the songs on the way to Nashville.
And you can figure it out like that?
No. God. I tried to figure it out. I figured some of them out like that, but
and so when you hit the stage, what the fuck did you do?
Well, even better, even more behind that, I'm going to Nashville, listening to all these songs, thinking I'm going into a rehearsal, right? I get into Nashville, and I call the people, and I was like, hey, man, I just pulled in, what are we doing? They're like, hey, change of plans. We're not rehearsing tonight. Jelly wants to go to a steakhouse. And I was like, dude, we just got handed 18 songs. We have a show in 2 days. And they're like, yeah, we're going to eat dinner. And I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah. So I pull up. This is the first time I've ever been to a steakhouse like that. It was Jeff Ruby's. And it was the first time I'd ever been to a steakhouse like that, and like had valet and, whatever. And I was trying to figure the out. First time like someone had ever paid for my meal.
Not a Chili's ribeye.
Yeah. No. It was like, it was just so crazy. And so then we end up going and partying until like 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess, we're just going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we get a text when we get back to the house, and they're like, oh yeah, rehearsal at 9 a.m. Of course, I'm like the newer guy, so I'm like, I can't miss it, but I'm drunk, I'm over, and end up making it at 9 a.m. anyways, haul the drums in, set them up, get everything going. And no one makes it on time.
No.
So I'm there for like 2 hours just going over the songs, and then finally decide to take a nap at 10 in the morning, and then everybody walks in at like 10:30 or 11. And the guitar player, Casey, he had been there. He's one of the longest standing members in the band. He's been there for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So that was my first time meeting him, and I was like, hey, man, I'm still trying to like remember these songs. I was like, you obviously know all of them, so just kind of like give me a cue. Because it was hip hop, so it was like I could remember the beats. The only thing that I was having trouble remembering was like where they stop and where they pause, or
interesting.
So on and so forth. So I was like, yo, give me a cue when we're like coming up on a pause for a vocal line, or give me a cue when we're like ending a song. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, because you like I've noticed that when I like watching live performances, they like read off each other, eh?
Yeah, we all read off each other, and even now, like Jelly still has like signs that he gives to our DJ who kind of like runs the tracks and stuff, like our in-ears or the click track and what we hear in our ears. So he like is in charge of starting the tracks and stopping the tracks, and Jelly will give signs on like sometimes he'll want a song to keep going because he like notices someone in the crowd that he wants to like talk to during a part, or like sometimes he'll cut a song early if he doesn't think the crowd is like kind of
really
song. And we have to like, so sometimes we'll go in thinking we're playing a full song and then he won't be feeling it, or he'll because he's a crowd reader. He'll read like what energy the crowd is putting out, and there's because he'll kind of we normally play like whatever's in our top 20, whatever's in his top 20 songs on like the streaming platforms, because he really likes to give the fans what they like to hear.
Right.
And he's very against like, he's like, bro, I've gone to so many shows where I went to see artists and they play all these B-sides, and I'm like, I want to hear the songs I know. And
I went to see Elton John and he played some fucking new shit. I'm like, come on, man.
Dude, no one's going to Elton John for the new dog.
Well, you
play Rocket Man.
Yeah, play Rocket Man. Seriously.
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
By the way, as a drummer, you want to know who my favorite... that's fine, man.
Dude.
We've had chicks on this table. My favorite one is Phil Collins and Chester Thompson. Is it Chester Thompson? You know who Genesis?
Yeah, Genesis.
Yeah. When they would do these things together, they do like this drum solo, but together for like 10 minutes. It's sick,
dude.
Like in between in the concert, like they'll like sing the songs and then they do this like because Phil Collins is a drummer,
right?
So his drummer and him, they get together in a hotel room and they figure out these like things, but they'll start these things on a stool. So they'll meet together and they'll start playing on the stool and on the chair. Dude, it's so sick.
That rules. I've actually never seen that. I need to look. Bro, I'm probably like the worst drummer ever.
Really?
Yeah, like so many like drummers will, I feel bad.
Spending too much time watching porn.
Stroking, dude.
Dude. Yeah.
No, man, I don't know what I love to sit. And when I was younger, I was like obsessed with drummers. Mm-hmm. And I spent so much time watching the drummers that I was obsessed with that I realized that I was like just being a copycat almost. And I don't know, I just had this like realization one day that I was like, I need to stop watching.
Too heavily influenced.
I was like, I need to stop like watching drummers.
Yeah,
like,
just do what feels right to you.
Yeah, like if a video pops up of drummer that I like with, or like some like the drummers that I watch a majority of the time is when it's something so crazy that I like can't, that I know that I'm like not capable of doing it, but that makes me determined to learn it. You know what I'm saying? So like those are the dudes that I end up like not watching, but I'll watch the videos like if they come up on socials, and I'll like save it and try to like learn and then spin it into my own thing. But I was like, it got to a point where I was really, I mean, like my drum set was looking like the drummers that I was obsessed with. I was like playing their fills and all this other stuff. And I was like, dude, I need to do a flip and be my own thing and like kind of figure out where I fall. And
the same thing happens in comedy, where if you listen to someone for too long, you can kind of start to like get their cadence and their pauses and their little quirks, and you don't want that. You need to wash that out big time, dude.
Absolutely.
But you also are a primetime gooner, right? You've been
I'll be gooning.
You've been gooning.
Well, that's how we
excellent tempo.
Yes.
But that's how we found out about you, because you go to AVNs.
Well, so when we met, that was actually my first one that I went to.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that was my first one that I had got to go to, which was super sick. I'd been wanting to go to AVN for like a really long time, and not like as a fan, but I'm just such a supporter of the adult industry, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the good parts of it, obviously.
Yeah, well, you have friends in the industry.
Yeah, and that really didn't happen until last year, because dude, I was like in and out of relationships I was in 2 4-year relationships, and then I was in a relationship for like a year and a half. And the 2 4-year relationships was when I was kind of like getting up in music, you know what I'm saying? It was really weird, because the one relationship was when I was with Siler, and then that ended, and then I ended up joining Jelly, and then the other relationship was when I was with Jelly, or like right when I started Jelly. So I was like being introduced to all these new things that I had never had, because like I said, when I was back in high school, I didn't get girls' attention, and I didn't like girls didn't f with me.
And now you're touring with Jelly, and I bet there's
yeah.
Like when I was with Siler, I like, that was my introduction. That was my first introduction to like girls that I never thought that I would A, see in real life, or B, think that they were
That
even
were
remotely
into you.
Yeah. And then I joined Jelly, and the first few years of when I joined him were crazy because he wasn't really massive yet, and he wasn't
on the
his,
come up,
He was on
though.
the come up, and
Yeah.
he wasn't on his like health journey because now he don't drink or do anything now. You know what I'm saying? And so back then it was like crazy. It was pretty crazy. And now we're in the country world, and I'm never seen these kind of country girls that would be like into me or like at these shows.
So you have an interesting dynamic because you are rock and roll, but you are country.
Yeah, I'm a redneck for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you
Like,
can hear
I'm from small town Kentucky, so I'm a redneck till I die. But I'm obsessed with rock and roll and metal and just the whole mindset and energy of it. You know.
Yeah. How was your first AVNs? Like you're in there, you're surrounded by the stars, you're getting to see like true Gooner culture.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Dude, it was fantastic. So I was there. Alexis Monroe and Motley Monroe, they did a booth together, and so I went with them. And you know, my whole thing, I really like doing skits and like you know, showing a different side to like the adult world that maybe doesn't get thought about or seen or whatever. And so I went there and ended up having a lot more friends there than I thought I was gonna. Like I ended up like knowing a little bit more people than I thought I did, and so it was cool. So I just went around and like just talked to everyone and networked and you know just introduced myself, and it was really cool seeing everything. I think the funniest part about it was I was sitting behind their booth, and next to it was this other booth that had these and this dude comes up to me, he's like, yo, are you Cody Asher? I was like, yeah. And so we're talking, and he pauses the conversation. He's like, I just need to take a second to acknowledge that I'm talking to Cody Ash over a fucking right now. I was like, dude, that's so funny.
What's it like for you for I guess you grinded out what 2011 you said 2011 till about 2020, not really making money, and now you're kind of like living.
Well, yeah, we're doing
you're doing all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're like, dude, I mean, sometimes like when I started going on the road with Che and my other buddy Ryan, who like were selling tickets before I could.
Yeah.
Even though I was like a feature act, like I was middling, I still felt like there was like, I'm a part of this like crazy thing. Even though I wasn't at that time, I was only making $100 spot or whatever. You know, they would always throw me extra cash and whatever. But it still felt so like special. And these are like just comedy clubs. So I can only imagine what it's like. What do you say when you guys are on tour now? It's like how many trailers and how many like it's it must be a whole thing.
It's when we do our headliners, it's at least the last headliner we did, it was absolutely insane. Because last year we did the Post Malone Stadium tour, and then we took that tour to Europe. And then we did headliners in Australia. So sorry.
No, it's all right.
Dude, I burp into this mic all the time.
I noticed him
Perfect.
burping.
Let it rip.
Perfect. I'm gonna let it rip in.
Yeah.
So it was. We have that many. We had probably on our headliner in 2024. We had, I think it was 17 buses and 24 tractor trailers or something like that. Which that was like our like even us like that was our first time seeing some. That.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I was like, what the fuck?
But that's like 10 years out from where you were like first joining that band doing locals. What's that like? Do you ever look back? Because it is like now where I'm 45 and I started this 13 years ago. It's still, I remember the first year I did this. I remember the first time I took a gig that got actually filmed, and I watched that tape. It was like it was on Super Bowl Sunday when the lights went out in the stadium. I did some like gay club. They were doing some AIDS benefit, and like the only people who go to show on a Super Bowl Sunday are like the people with AIDS.
The gays with AIDS.
But no, I look back at it. I remember that night like it was yesterday. And so like 10 years after you're kind of like you said what year did you start playing? 2000?
I mean, I was in bands starting in like 2008, but I didn't start touring. Like I didn't have my first like tour until 2013.
Yeah, but I mean that must be crazy, right?
Dude, it is. I mean, it's I still wake up like when we get Yeah, like literally, like we'll be on a bus, and I'll literally wake up and I'm still like, dude, I'm like touring on a bus.
First class,
You
too.
know what I'm saying?
Everything's
It's
first class.
Bro, it's I'm just so it's unreal. Like there was a part of me that was like, I didn't know what was gonna happen because nothing's ever for sure when it comes to music. Like you never like there's
Oh,
a
I
million
bet.
there's hundreds of thousands of dudes or sorry, there's hundreds of thousands of people trying to do like what I'm doing and working hard and like
Most of them
like
are
there's-
working at Guitar Center, dude.
Yeah, right?
like ever mother gunning for people's spots and like
Yeah.
so you never know. I wasn't for sure what was going to happen, but I was for sure that I was going to do everything, anything and everything to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so I still wake up just like so insanely grateful, and I think that I have like really bad imposter syndrome. I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
the sense that like I don't like people will come up to me and be like, dude, I've seen you for like an hour, but I was too scared to talk to you because this. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
please talk to me.
Yeah, I
Like,
said that. Yeah, I said that all the time.
Like,
Yeah, I hate when people wait and they're like, "Oh, dude," I'm like, "Dude, I'm honestly even the little things." Or I've told a story like of the flight attendant, but like even like a fucking getting a protein shake this weekend, and the guy said to me, he's like, "Oh, dude, he clearly didn't know who I am. He knew of me. He's like, you're an Instagram guy, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I take a picture?" And I know he doesn't really know who I am, but I'm like, I'm like,
It's
dude,
sick.
it's
It's
sick
cool.
because the truth is this shit will eventually end.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna want to take a picture with me.
By this, you mean the United States of America.
And I'm so like, my thing is, I love talking to people and everything and meeting people and so on and so forth. And I'm just like a social butterfly. And I mean, even
Well,
when
that's
we
why I
met,
said the
like,
podcast. Yeah.
And I feel bad because I feel like there's so many people that have had terrible interactions with people that they're fans of, or
Yeah.
and I've had that too with people that I'm a fan of that have treated me like, and I told myself, I was like, bro, I will never ever be that person. Like I'll never be that
Dude.
person that's too cool. And like like I said, I love talking to people and hanging out and stuff. So it still means so much to me when if I get recognized and anything along those lines.
And that's kind of why I do like the AVN, because it is a very humbling experience for me, because as much as I like, we have this podcast in the porn space, and it's like we kind of like on a low end can move a needle. Like if someone comes on the podcast and they do a viral video, the viral videos because they're doing it, but they still like generate like revenue to their website and whatever. But even at AVN where you're like, I think I'm doing something really cool, nobody gives a that I'm there.
Well,
It's
we're also
only,
competing against.
yeah, but that's what I mean. But that's the
When you're-
truth. That's
yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
It's
When you're
really
competing against tits, dude,
you
it's
ain't
an
shit.
uphill
I
battle.
think, dude, I think what I liked about AVN most was seeing just every.
how
Honestly,
much?
I didn't even see any, to be honest.
No.
I didn't see.
No,
I saw a
they're
couple
very.
tits.
They're
Yeah.
not allowed to.
But you
show.
see,
Yeah.
you see some maybe some tape over.
Or is
there.
the Patrice O'Neill the
Yeah, you see the meat
tit-
around
yeah,
the areola.
eats?
Yeah,
I was I think my favorite part about AVN was just seeing people, like seeing fans and customers in an environment and seeing the females in an environment where everyone was just being themselves.
Normalized.
Normalized. Everybody felt safe. No one
Yeah.
was being judged, even for like their kinks and XYZ, what they were into. Like that was just such I think that was just such a beautiful thing, seeing just everyone being like the amount of older couples that I saw walking through there together that were like talking about other females, or like the female in the couple would walk up and introduce them to her husband, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was
It's
really
a very
cool.
normal thing.
Yeah.
And so many dudes just proudly horny. Like there was dudes, they're going up to the porn stars and they're like, "I watch you every day," and all this stuff. And they're like, "Oh my god, I love you!" And they take the picture.
I mean, it's no different than meeting a TV star.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
no.
everybody's an actress.
I spend more time with the porn stars than I do the TV stars. Yeah, these people are in my life every day. Yeah.
Also, too, like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like this, and I told this story once, and we went to X3 right before, and I've never felt more like a man than this guy when he goes to, I told this once before, Melissa Stratton, we were hanging out with Melissa Stratton, and she's like, she had to go over to Brazzers, so we're walking with her, and some guy, I mean, grosser than me. Like, he goes, "Hey, Melissa, did you get my number? I dropped it in your bag yesterday." And he's like,
it in the bag's crazy.
Because he's like thinking that she's going to call him. But in my mind, I used to think, and still to this, like, I'll see a 10. And I think in my head I have a chance. Like, I really do. I look at a 10.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, I don't. But
You're funny as shit.
no, it doesn't. You just know. But no, there is a thing where it's.
Don't let anyone tell you that. You're a fucking 10, dude. I don't give a fuck what you say. You're
This
a 10.
guy's
I'm
for
beautiful.
the boys. I
For
love
the
it.
boys.
No,
Yeah.
but there is a thing, like, some of those guys are actually like goblins. And they're like, it is funny, but in their mind, and I get it. Like, I don't have hate towards those guys. They're like, maybe I get lucky today.
Yeah.
I drop my number in, her little.
Well, they also, you'd be surprised with the stories that some of these girls tell. Like, we had Madison Morgan on, and she went out of her way to Uber driver. She was like, I want a Uber driver. And so she took Ubers until one, she was like, hey, so would you want to like shoot a video with me? And 3 went, no, thank you. She took, and then the 4th guy was like, yeah. And so she was like, I'm going to Uber driver today. Right. And one girl there might be thinking, I'm some guy at the AVN.
And then also a million guys just became Uber drivers.
Yeah.
And are not getting.
Yeah. Most of them are getting.
Someone was telling me that there was like a page that there's like a stewardess who flies, and she like tries to f a passenger from the plane every time they land.
No.
Like that. Yeah, I don't know the page or the name. But
well, we haven't released that episode yet, but she was the Kate, the Cheesecake Factory chick.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this chick is so hot.
Crazy Rocket worked at the Cheesecake Factory
For 10 years.
Yeah.
And she was making content while she was at the Cheesecake Factory. She wasn't anybody, but I mean,
now she is.
Yeah.
Now she is big time.
Yeah.
But now, so like, I need to know what like the quantity that changed for you. Like, you went from like, no one's really in high school.
Yeah,
this
that's
one girl
true.
ate her out, and then you're touring. You're like, I'm seeing on a different scale.
Yeah.
How much did the flow turn on?
So, like, when I was in Solar, like I said, I started getting noticed by girls that I didn't think would notice me. But I'm just gonna be completely blunt, like, honest with you guys. Like, I was in both of my 4-year relationships, I was just a massive piece of shit. I was not a good person at all. Like, it's like I was just not. I was.
Well, you're young too at the time.
Yeah, and I was young, and I was young and getting introduced to new things that whatever, and sure there was stuff at home that probably contributed to my thought process and why I did the things that I did, but like so I probably didn't do as much as what I could have when I was with Solar, because like I said, I was dating someone, and I was, like I said, I was just being a piece of shit. And then I joined Jelly, and I was being a piece of shit then too, but I was in a really weird place where I was like, I don't give a about nothing. Like, I'm just gonna do what the I want. Yeah. So to an extent of not getting caught, and so I ended up like whatever and felt really bad about it, and I like didn't like who I'd become, like, because I'm not a cheater. I didn't want to be that person. I want to be seen as that. And then I ended up dating this girl that gave me she did, and she kind of really opened my eyes to like what a lot of women go through, and like mannerisms of men that like are actually disgusting. Or like,
how did you guys meet?
I saw her on the internet, and I didn't think I saw her on the internet, and I didn't think she was real. And then we ended up following each other. And
so you followed her?
Yeah, for sure. And then she followed back, and
where you're like,
it was super cool. And I mean, she wasn't an adult star. But she, like I said, she did. I didn't see her. I don't know. I didn't see her content. I didn't.
Oh, you're just following on the Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram. And
just thought hot.
And I didn't find out she did until I went to her Twitter, and I was like, but so I actually met her while I was with my other whatever, and nothing really happened. I like I said, I was a piece of shit. I wasn't honest. I didn't tell that girl that I had a girlfriend and whatever. So I ended up finally breaking up with the other girl, and then me and this girl start seeing each other, and she I thought the relationship was going to be open once we went into it, because I was like, oh, I need to do this and like try it, whatever. And then we ended up realizing that wasn't what we wanted, but she taught me a lot about like females and like what in the industry and like what they go through, and like I would see messages that they would get from men that I was like, what the fuck? She's like, yo, you don't even know, like my fucking neighbors we'll do this, my teachers are doing this.
Oh,
like
really?
all the weird, you know what I'm
like
saying?
every man close to me is like trying to me, and then if they're not, they hate me.
And then like we would go out and like, cause she would say things to me like, hey, when we go out to dinner, like if we're out to dinner together, if you see a pretty girl, like please don't look at her. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? And then we'd go out to dinner and we would be standing in line or something, and I would see a dude with his girlfriend like staring at her, at my girl. You know what I'm saying? And I was like eating dinner with his girlfriend, and I was like, okay, I see like what you mean. And so I learned a lot throughout that relationship, and I was monogamous, and I was, you know, I became a way better person.
Yeah.
And so when me and her ended up breaking up last year, and after I got out of the relationship, I was like, sorry, to preface, she was like 25, 24, 20, 23, 24, 25, somewhere around that. And I, you know, I'd been wanting to be, she did. So I thought it was cool that I was like, this could be my introduction to the adult world, just like I was talking about that I wanted to get into, to like shoot skits and all this stuff.
Yeah.
She ended up being kind of insecure about it, which completely fine, understandable. She's like, hey, I'm not cool with that. You know, XYZ, I don't want you hanging out with stars or this, that. And I was like, well, that takes that away. But, you know,
right.
I like that woman. And so I was like, okay, I'll respect your boundaries, and I want to be a better person and prove to you that men don't suck, or that there are men out there that aren't pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And so we ended up breaking up, and after that breakup, I was like, okay, I'm free. I need to not date anyone. I need to not jump into anything. I need to, like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to let anybody stop me from it. And so it was like, that's when I was like, my goal is to go to AVN next year and network and this and that. I want to do skits with adult stars and so on and so forth, and put a different light on their world than just talking to them about having.
Yeah.
And so that's when I really that's when I became single, was when I started. I was in the most respectful way. Like I was ruthless last year. Not in like, I was very upfront and honest with anyone that I had messed around with. I was like, hey, I don't want a relationship. I'm not looking for anything.
I don't think there's anything ruthless about that.
Yeah, no.
Just,
That's not the ruthless part. It was how much I was.
No,
You're like, I didn't take days off, dude. 2 days every day.
I think everyone has a phase.
Well, I never got to have that phase not lying about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right,
And
right.
I wanted to experience that freedom and just being able to do whatever the fuck I want without having to answer to someone, ask if it's cool, and this and that. Because like I said, I had been such a piece of shit over time, and I'd grown into this better person and more honest person. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be honest with myself, and, you know, I'm going to have this fun. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Like, I'm going to do what I want, but also I'm going to be honest with these women up front, so that if this happens, they know the circumstance and there's a clear
Right.
And it's it's guilt-free, and also it's like, bro, I'm a fucking rock star.
Yeah, right.
I'm a fucking rock star, dude.
Shit.
You know how many people get to do this? Like 0.001%
nobody,
of dudes get to be on tour doing arenas and stadiums, and the just falling out of the sky.
Bro, it's crazy, because like I don't think maybe but like one or two that had happened last year were people that were like at the show. Everything else was like,
really?
Everything else was like
DMs.
just messages on it, because I feel weird, like if they're like there for the show as like a fan, and like a lot of those people can just get really weird. They'll turn it into like, hey, I want to hang out with you, and then they'll come hang out, but then it's like, hey, can I meet Jelly? Can I meet Bonnie? Can I do this? And I'm like,
really?
Yeah, and it'll get really weird.
So
Like people are like trying to pull out their phones and like, so I kind of stopped risking bringing people or like trying to like flirt with girls that were
trying
at
to fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
There's also a thing of like, because I know Jelly's in a relationship and he's got his thing going, and it's like, but the that's around, it's like you don't want to be like a chick's trying to me to get closer to someone else. That feels dirty.
Weird.
Yeah,
and
that is.
I had this one time at a show. This was years ago. There was this hot chick there after the show, and then there was a guy who was opening for me who only opened for me once ever. He asked to open for me, and then she came up to me before the show. I was like, "There's this super cute chick." Blah blah blah. Then after the show, I'm working the merch table. She comes up again, and I clarified that this is this chick. And he starts trying to make moves on her. And I was like, whoa, dude. You're the opener. You don't try to fuck the headliner's chick. Are you crazy?
Where was
right
this?
now?
Yes,
I won't say what city because he'll know it's him. But he never opened for me again. I'll tell you that much. No, he never
That
opened for
is
me again.
crazy.
He never got it. I never answered his text messages again. I was like, this is
What was the thing? Like, what was the thing that? How could you like? She was.
well, because she came up, she's talking to both of us, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm performing this city all the time." And he goes, "Oh, let me get your Instagram." And I was like in my head, "Let me get your Instagram." I went,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're trying to move in on my." You can't move in on my. That's crazy work, dude.
I had a girl do that. It's probably embarrassing to say, but I had a girl do that to me in Australia back in like 2017 or 2018 or whatever. We went there with Siler. This my guitar player had this beautiful woman out, and she had a friend that was also very, very beautiful, like tattooed, like just super goth, like it's so hot.
Chick.
Yeah, and so he's like, hey, my friend's friend is like really into you. She said that she either wanted to f the drummer or the vocalist, and the vocalist had a girlfriend at the time, and she was like, she keeps talking about you, and I was like, word. So we all go back to this Airbnb that we're staying at, or wherever it was, or hotel or something in Australia, and me and her go in the bathroom. And I thought it was a great time. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good, whatever. And we walk out. She doesn't talk to me for the rest of the night, follows my vocalist around like a puppy dog.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what the fuck?
Okay,
Do you,
yeah.
like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think they ever ended up having, but it was just funny because I was
weird.
didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. And I was like, what the fuck was why do we even do
She's
that?
just
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to collect nuts.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
wound up being like a whole band. Yeah.
I mean, there are some chicks like that, right?
There are some,
Yeah.
which is okay, which is great.
I think it's good for the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect a girl. I respect a girl or a guy that's down to do whatever with whoever.
Dude, good for you though, man. I think it's great to be able to have the freedom to indulge like that and
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I
enjoy
like
yourself.
indulging.
Holy that's good, dude.
It's been very beautiful.
Yeah.
It's nice to just have that little bit of freedom, you know.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Because like I said, because like throughout my 20s, I never got to experience it. I never had that without feeling guilt or feeling like I was looking over my shoulder or having to look, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not, like I said, I'm not ashamed to like say, like the reason I'm not ashamed to say that I was a piece of is because I'm very proud of like the person that I grew into.
Yeah.
and
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? And so
absolutely.
it's like,
Everybody makes
yeah,
mistakes, man.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Well, also not make mistakes. I mean, like everyone has to go through trials and tribulations of
Yeah.
life to become what you are now.
Dude, 100%.
I agree.
But I don't know. I don't have any
Yeah,
other
this is
questions.
great,
Yeah, this has been
dude.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Yeah.
man.
Oh.
Yeah. yeah, dude. This is solid,
We
bro.
got, what was it, hour 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
that was an hour already?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
buddy.
so.
Holy
Yeah, we're motoring, baby.
Yeah,
damn, that was
dude,
good.
you killed.
That
This was
sick.
awesome.
Yeah,
love
that's
yeah.
always the biggest compliment, by the way.
Yeah.
When people are
Yeah.
like, we're done, I'm like, we just did an hour.
Literally had no idea. I was
Really?
I was just enjoying chilling.
Yeah, I think it helps not to have like clocks.
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a casino.
You just go. You just
Let
go.
time
Also, just
pass.
easy to be with the boys.
Yeah, just
you know, it's
The
like,
dog.
the boys.
damn, I'm sad, bro. I didn't even get to get into you guys. And
No, that's
Well,
not what
that's
it's
not
about.
what it's
I know,
about, man.
but
Yeah, no, but people know. We throw our anecdotes.
Yeah. Can you just into this camera here? Can you let everyone know where to find you?
Yeah. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Pork Chop. You can find me on Instagram and any socials at Cody Asher Drums. Check it out.
Perfect. Thank you so much, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you guys.
Right
This is
on.
Yeah, that was great.